So I'm heading down here on the highway, and there's a Honda Civic that has a missing person advisory. Now, if they know the Honda Civic, they know the driver who took it. They're looking for the car, but if they know the driver, then I would assume the police could do a search through the credit reports. So all the police need to do is pull a credit report, and with the credit report, it'll have the banking account information, it'll have the credit card information if they have credit cards in that, and then it'll have on it if they've taken out any mortgages and where they've lived. Truly, the credit report keeps track of where you've lived. And so they know if you have any mortgages on any houses or properties through the credit report and the credit cards. But the whole point is you start with number one, when's the last time they bought gas? You're trying to figure out, like I'm trying to figure out the lunatic who's tailgating me. You know, every tailgating seems like it's okay. So everybody wants to get into a situation where they could get in an accident, because that's what tailgating, leads to accidents. But they want to go faster, so they go by me. But I have to move over? Why would you stand behind me in the first lane going fast if you want to go faster and there's the second and third lane that's wide open? Isn't it pretty insanity that somebody would do it? It doesn't matter if they're getting over to the right. They could have went around me long before that and then got over and kept on going faster. So why delay yourself by sitting behind me and tailgating me, right? It doesn't make any logical sense, because if I know I got to go places and I'm coming up in a car, I move over to the left and go around them, and then I get back in the right-hand lane once I pass them. And even if I'm getting off at an exit and I want to get there, I'll go to the left, go around them, and then get back in the right-hand lane. I won't sit there and tailgate them. Why am I going to sit there in frustration? So sitting there behind me is sitting in frustration. Why would you sit behind me and frustrate yourself? You want to go faster, right? So you have all these lanes that go faster, then just go around and go faster. And since you need to get to where you're going, right? Unless you're trying to bully somebody and cause some kind of mental trauma or harm to them, you get off on it. There are trolls that get off on that stuff. They like tailgating. There's aggravated driving and so on, and it can be a felony. Aggravated driving can be a felony. So I don't get it anymore. And I'm here, and you don't see any state troopers, right? Isn't this when people, right now, the Chicago bars are closed by 5? This is when people drink and drive the most, right? Don't they study the hours where drinking and driving are at the highest? What hours, time of day, is drinking and driving the most prevalent? I would assume they have the data, right? I'll pull it up on a search. But you get it, and it's all across the country, so you think the state troopers would be out here making sure they're protecting the other cars, protecting the other vehicles by getting the people that are drinking and driving off the road so they don't hit another vehicle, they don't kill themselves or kill somebody else or kill the people in the car. So you think they would use predictive analytics to tell them where to be at what time, where it's more likely, so they can get the cars off the road. So isn't that the number one thing? You want to stick it to the drunken drivers and cause them to be, choose alternatives. Well, then you have to create a presence that forces them to choose alternatives, right? And don't they work with the state police, work with city police? Like when I used to go up to Buffalo Grove, and this is when going to my house years, Palatine Police used to have a roadblock and a safety check, and I get off at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, up there, get off, or 5 in the morning, and there's a safety check, and I had to stop. And, checking the lights, the headlights, the, tires. Maybe they should check if the tires are properly inflated, but if the vehicle's in good working order. Shouldn't they be checking if the vehicle's in good working order? Looking to see if there's any, these things on the dash, these warning lights going on, and then they can pull off through the digital down here. They just plug into it. And new cars now, maybe it's electronic app. It just goes into your phone, right? On new cars, these warning signs now go into the car app, right? So it plugs right into the car. So now the warning signs go into the car, and it tells you the code, and then it describes the code, and what the code means, and so on and so forth, and what you have to do to resolve it. And then below it says make an appointment for your Chevy dealer through OnStar. Has now insurance. OnStar goes through GM cars, right? I don't know if they're outside. They could be in watercraft. You can have OnStar on watercraft. You can have OnStar for ATVs, OnStar for motorcycles, right? It's for emergency.